And Cap, what's up, brother? What else we got in here? Human being, AK lady, saddle tramp. There's people in the police station right now, so I'm going to hold off for a minute. I got to go in and do some public records requests. On another note, I had to do this live stream vertical mode. Does anyone know why that is? Like, it wouldn't let me do it horizontal. And it's been years since I've live streamed, so the last time I live streamed, they wouldn't let me do it either. That was over a year ago when I tried to go live like 3 or 4 times and it wouldn't let me. But I didn't realize I had to do a vertical in order to live stream, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going to wait for the people to get out of the police station. Eric Johnson, what's up, brother? What is this? KS for rights, not nuke war. Thanks for joining. It's been years since I've gone live, guys, so you have to give me a chance here. But what happened, I'll give you guys a heads up on what happened earlier, is I've been investigating a local Speedway gas station. They ripped me off a couple times. They overcharged me for items. And I caught them doing it, and I complained to corporate. And the first person I talked to didn't do anything. And I ran into her today at one of the gas stations, and she's the district manager, and she's from Colorado. But she was down here, so I asked her what happened with all that. And she told me that, you know, she couldn't do much of anything. She's like, I asked them if they did that, and they said they didn't. They denied it, so she said that's all she could do. But meanwhile, the other day, last week, I called up corporate of Speedway, and they opened an investigation. So I told her that, and she got really upset. And I told her that I think she needs to be investigated, and she got definitely upset. And then they kicked me out of the store. And probably like a half hour, 45 minutes later, of course I had a dispute with one of the workers there. He was recording me, I was recording him, and a bunch of pissing contest basically. So he said he'd call the cops. I hung out for a little bit and waited, but I just was like, I'm not going to hang out here because this isn't going to get anywhere with us yelling at each other. So I left, but I have a company name on my vehicle. And they called the company, which is a friend of mine, and I don't work for him or anything, but they called him, the police called him, like shortly after I left. So I figured, well, the cops are looking for me, I'll come down and see what's up. I'm assuming they're going to want me to be trespassed or something. So, but these people are still inside of here, I think. Let me check. Actually, they're still here. How you doing? I was gonna wait for it to be clear in here, but I'll see if I can get an officer to meet me out here. Hello. I had a friend of mine earlier today around, I don't know, 1 o'clock or so, got a phone call, and they were looking for, he said the police, looking for me, and I wasn't sure if it was the Taos police or... I have no idea. It was an incident at Speedway at around 12:45. Speedway. one across from Walmart.
Okay.
And they said they would call the cops
What
on.
was the incident or what?
I was speaking with the manager. I had an incident in
What is
the
your name?
Ryan.
What's your last name?
Oh, you don't really need that, but
Well, I need to report it if you want to talk to somebody.
well, they need my last name to talk to me.
Well, I would think they would.
Well, I thought they wanted to talk to me because they called my friend's business and said they didn't ask for me by
You
name.
need to understand that there's plenty of Ryans out there with the same name.
Well, I don't think they know my name's Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah, there was an officer. Like I said, I had an incident
Yeah,
at
if you know who
the.
it was, I'm sorry, I don't know either.
There's no reports like when you guys get called out.
I can't log on to my computer, so I can't see what was reported and what wasn't.
Oh, it's a technical then.
Yeah.
Right. Well, can I get an officer I could speak with?
Well, that's what I was asking for, your name and your number.
Well, I'll wait right out here. Yeah, if I could just speak, I just wanted to straighten it out.
Your name and number then?
My name is Ryan, and I'm going to be here in the lobby.
Go ahead and write it here with your last name.
Well, I don't have to give my last name. I just want to speak to an officer.
Okay, give me a minute.
Is Mark here? I'll speak with Mark. Huh?
Mark retired.
He retired. That was quick. Is there a new chief?
Thank you.
Is there a new chief? Ma'am?
There is,
Who is the new chief?
it's Chief Montes.
I'm having a hard time hearing. I can't hear you.
Chief Montes.
I'm not sure I got that. So is an officer going to come see me? I don't know what's going on here. People, she's acting like I'm not standing here asking her questions. What's going on? Mark wasn't even the chief for a year. Interesting. Are you guys getting good service here?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I just, I caught one of the Speedway workers overcharging me for items like a month ago, and I talked to the district manager here at one of the other speed, because I go all the speed, and it's Taos,
Right.
So I went to the other one, and Granny was working, and then this other woman, and she overheard me, so she asked me what was up, and told her the whole deal, and I thought she's like, oh, I'll look into it, and so on and so forth, and I didn't hear anything about it. So I called Speedway corporate,
Right.
last week, and they said they weren't notified of it. I just happened to go to the Speedway down here, and that district manager was there, so I asked her, I was like, hey, what happened with that? She's like, oh, well, there's not much I could do about it. She's like, it's, if you had receipts, and I'm like, I told you, I have all the receipts. I got dates, times, everything. 'Cause I got the Speedway app, so it automates all the purchase history. And she got really mad. And, I told her, I'm like, well, I already opened an investigation. And then she's like, get out, and kicked me out of the store. And then one of our little thug workers comes out, by then I got my phone out. I'm like, I got to record this, And he gets his phone in my face and he's calling me names. And I was just like, whatever. And then I leave. And, because at first I was like, I'll hang out and wait for the cops. So it was like 10 minutes. I'm like, they're not going to come. And so I just left. But I have on my van, I have a company name. I don't work for them, I just have it on the van because I bought it off them. I never removed it. Never been a problem until today. So apparently they called her and said, hey, like we're looking for whoever. So
Wow.
So I was like, well, I better go down to the Taos. I mean, it could be the sheriffs, could be, the state police.
Wow.
But I figure since it was right here in town, it was probably the
Probably
town
closer.
police. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but Montez, if that's Ronald Montez is the chief, then that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm surprised that Mark left so early. I was really looking forward to him being the chief. I mean, I know Steve Miera is the sheriff. Don't know any of the state police people really, just some officers, But here, you know, I've been down this past year, and that's why that door's locked, you know, the town hall, because I was coming down and recording them and doing public records, because they locked the door. Yeah, I mean, it's like, whatever. You know, I mean, you can't make it up, you know. I mean, that spells corruption all day long, you know. When you got somebody coming down asking questions, and you lock the door, and you know. But then Mark came out when he knew I was here, and I had interactions with him for, you know, years. You know, him and my son. You know, we helped him out one time, and you know, I don't forget that stuff. You know, I'm not anti-cop. I'm just anti-bad cops. You know, and so. Yeah, and if Ronald Montez is the chief, he's on my list of a bad cop. You know, he knows it. He will never come out and talk to me. Every time he sees me, he goes the other way. I mean, I got videos of him up on my channel, 100,000 views of him acting crazy, acting like he's 12 years old. That's what they do when they don't get their way. Like this woman, you know, what's your last name? I'm like, I don't have to give you my last name. You guys all know my last name, you know, but it doesn't matter. But you saw she just instantly shut down, started acting like a child, wouldn't answer any of my questions. And it's like, how professional is that? Oh, we got a couple officers coming out. Oh, they're waiting for you. Oops, sorry.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, stray dog. Man, I forgot I was live streaming for a second. I was just talking. I don't know if this officer is the one that's going to come out. Apparently not. Some officer is supposed to come talk to me. So, let's see what we got going on in here. Stray dog. Patricia. Is that Kansas City writes for Nucor? Not Nucor. Forget it, man. My eyesight's horrible. I should have brought glasses. Of course, Eric Johnson, Oklahoma audits, outlaw audits. Man, this is like all blurry. My vision has gotten horrible. England. Your initials. Okay, England. Northern Ireland. Hello from Northern Ireland, England. Wow, we're international here. International. So I guess we'll just hang out here. And, oh man, there's the missing flag. See, I think they had a big turnover right now in this place. I wonder. We just had a mayoral election because they got a new chief of police, and there was a Giselle in here that had a wooden American flag up on the wall there. That's gone. I don't see her in here either. I wonder if she quit. Wonder if there's been a big turnover in employment at the Taos Town Hall. But I don't know. We'll see if we can get the cops out here. I need to speak with somebody. I don't need them looking for me. Looks like they're contemplating coming out here and talking to me, maybe. Saw him turn his body cam on, then he walked in the other room. A couple of them. I'll probably get their, we'll see. We'll see if I go home from all this. Who knows? Maybe they're looking to arrest me. God knows they want to. What's this thing doing here? That's weird. See if their Public Record Act thing is hanging around here.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Good. How
Oh,
are
you
you?
here to talk to me? Okay.
No,
Oh,
you asked for me.
yeah. Well, what happened was earlier I had an interaction with the Speedway workers, the one across from
okay.
Walmart.
Yeah.
So that's what I was telling her. I was like, I'm not sure if it was the Taos police that arrived or sheriffs or the state police, but
Yeah.
my friend who owns a business, the Red Arrow Emporium, I have a van I bought off of them years ago, and it's all wind blown, but you can still see the number apparently, you know.
Right.
And so she called me or texted me and said, "Hey, police were calling up looking for you. You need to get our number off the side of the van." So I was like, "All right, we'll do." You know, hasn't been a problem, you know. But anyway, so police were looking for me, so I figured I'd go down and see what was going on. Like if maybe they were trying to trespass me.
So
or-
that's exactly what it was.
Right.
Is they just they wanted you trespass from the establishment.
Okay, all of them or?
Well, I guess it'd be that particular store. Is what.
Yeah, because I mean, the person I was speaking with was the district manager.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
she's from Colorado.
Right.
Because that's the thing is, I went to the bypass, one. I live down by Rancho, so
Right.
I always go to that one, and I know the workers there. And then I told them, and she's like, "Oh, the district manager's at the one over by Walmart down the road. If
Right.
you want to go." And I'm like, "Yeah, talk to her here." She's like, "She's there right now. If you want to go." So I went there. I was like, "Hey, what happened with the complaint about the manager stealing from me at the El Prado and El Prado Speedway? I
Right.
caught the manager stealing from me.
Oh, okay.
Caught her red-handed. Flat as I got all the proof. And so I was like, what happened with that? She's like, well, it's pretty much your word against theirs. I asked them if they did it and they denied it. So that's all I can do.
Yeah.
But last week I called up corporate, the number corporate Speedway, and they got an investigation opened right now. There's definitely something they could do. They could access all the camera footage, everything. So what I said to the woman was, maybe you need to be investigated. At that moment, she's like, you need to get it. Got all irate, and one of her little thug workers comes around from the back, talking crap. And of course, it was a pissing contest for a little while. Whatever, like he said, he called the cops. I'm like, all right, I'll hang out and I'll wait. Waited like 10 minutes, but it was just pissing match, So I was like, I'm just gonna get in and leave.
Yeah, and basically what just the complaint was is that you were causing a disturbance there. And
Right.
So basically what it is they just wanted you trespass from that's the only reason we're looking for you, not to.
Right.
That was.
Well, that's what I figured it was,
Yeah.
but I like I said, there's an investigation going right now with corporate.
Mhm.
So I just had to have that. I mean, do I have a paperwork on that or anything that I could email to corporate, like the trespass? I mean, I guess I could get the video if you verbally telling me right now that I'm being trespassed.
Well, yeah, that's what we're doing is
Right.
verbally just telling you that you're trespassing
Right.
from that station.
Yeah, so I guess
And
no
so-
paperwork happens until I break that trespass and go back.
We want to issue a trespass notice and then.
I mean, I'm not looking to give any information is the problem because it's all public record,
Right.
like, so I don't want, I just wanted to, like I said, it's just, they're asking me right now
Yeah,
to
and
email
there's-
them all my
basically,
evidence.
I mean, it's not gonna be like on a formal report or anything like that.
I
It's just-
understand,
It's
yeah.
just giving you verbal notice not to go.
Right, yeah, and I understand that's how it works,
Yeah.
and if I do, then that's when all the paperwork comes in and the
Exactly.
IDing and all that business.
Right, and
uh,
then you take the chance to go to jail, right?
But as far as your understanding was, it's just a location that's across from
As
the,
far as what we were told was just being trespassed from that particular location.
that particular.
That was our understanding.
Okay,
If they call us and tell us that it's gonna be for all of them, then we'll let you know.
right,
If
right.
I can get your information, that would be great.
Yeah, well, I'm about to do a public record request because I want to get all the body cam footage. The officer responded to the call, like went to the building.
Right,
Yeah, so I wanted to get that body cam footage, the 911 calls, the incident report if there is one, and basically everything wrapped around this. Because, like I said, there is an investigation going on through corporate, which I don't know where.
through the one in probably you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know where they are, where they're located,
And we
but.
have nothing to do with that one.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been going to Speedway for years. I
Right.
mean, they can look at my history. I've been using Speedway. I
No, I
spend
trust you.
like $400 a week or a month. I don't know. A lot of money I spend at the Speedway,
Right.
and they're just treating me the way they do. It's like, all right. Like they obviously don't know who they're messing with because I thrive on this. Like I like people to do stuff that and think that they're not accountable, and then maybe they're not
We all
accountable.
are, right?
Right. Well, sometimes we are, sometimes we aren't. Like I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't accountable right now, and that's the big story in America. Accountability.
Right.
And transparency.
100%.
Right. Transparency and accountability. And I'm sorry, I didn't even get your name.
Oh, my name's Ron Montes.
Ronald Montez. Are you related to other Ronald Montez?
Yeah, that's my
What's
dad.
your name?
Joseph Dubois.
Joseph Dubois. French?
Actually, yeah, I actually
Okay.
wanted to just clarify something
Yeah.
as well. We didn't call Red Arrow.
Oh, okay.
It was the store employees I'm the one who responded at the Midtown Speedway that called Red Arrow Emporium.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. That wasn't me. That wasn't us.
Well,
So,
I mean,
just
she
so
told
you-
me the police called.
No,
So I wonder if they're calling and claiming to be the police or something. I have no idea
I
because
have no idea, but I just wanted to clarify that for you that we didn't call
right.
and say.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting because Phyllis wouldn't say the police called her out of the blue. She'd be like, Speedway called me, and
Yeah.
like it'd be weird that that she would say that the police called her. I'm wondering if they called and maybe they just confused her and said, you know, we called the Taos police, or I don't know, you know, I mean, I have no, I'm sure they were just trying to get me in trouble. And, you know, like I said, I don't work for them. Even if I did work for Phyllis, she would just hang up
you know,
on
and
them.
that's their deal when we're.
Right, but there was a response to the call, like that you guys showed up there, and so
That was me, yes, sir.
you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, I guess I just need your body cam footage. I was like,
So so just fill out an IPRA request.
Right.
And
well, if I could have a paper, I prefer to do it on paper.
you know, unfortunately, we do it all online right now.
Well, just any piece of paper will work. You know, I don't need a form. You know, like any piece of paper will work. I mean, I could do it verbally right now, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, the IPRA says that if I don't do it, if I don't do it written, you guys don't have to respond. You know, like they're like, yeah, you know, they should they say they should respond, but but lawfully you have to have it written in order to get a response within 3 days and 15. You know, I mean, obviously, I'm not sure if you're aware. I'm very updated on the New Mexico IPRA, and in fact, I think I've made a change.
As we all should be, right?
I think I made a change to the IPRA.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know if I went to the town administration, the
Right.
county administration, and had a huge thing, a video that went not viral, you know, but a lot of people posted it on their channels, mine, and about me making my own copies. They wouldn't allow me to even look at the records unless I paid them for it, you know. So I was like, oh no, records are free. You know, and she's like, no, you can't, you know. So I was like, okay, we'll see. And then, of course, you know, they did their research. Next day I went down, they were all crying and holding their phones and got my records for free. You know, so I mean, I know the IPRA, but within a month of that, the New Mexico IPRA got revised. Like a month after I left that place, within 2 months maybe, and the wording for, you know, because while I was telling them, I'm like, I could scan it, I could take pictures, I could do whatever. And now you look in the IPRA under making copies, like scanning, photographing is all allowable, you know, where it wasn't worded, you know, specific like that prior. So I felt pretty good about that, you know. I was like, oh, you know, I made a positive change in the IPRA. And at that video, somebody reached out to me saying that they've been trying to get records for years. They were linked up with New Mexico Foundation for Open Government, which they're a joke, you know, like I think they're a government entity.
Right.
They give false hope. But he said they couldn't get him his records. He saw my video and he had his records within 3 days. And they wanted $900 for him. He got them all for free. And no help from New Mexico Open Government, all from me. So what I think I'm gonna do is allow my services to the public, you know, tell them, if you guys need records and they're trying to say, hey, it's $500 or whatever, I'll get them for them for free, because records are free. You know, there's no charge for records. Charge for copies, but that can be bypassed, you know. You can make your own copies. But that's a whole different story, but I do.
So yeah, and like I said, let me see what we can do about getting you this.
Yeah, just a blank piece of paper, even that Post-it note. There's a pen right there. All I need to do is Dubois, right? Dubois?
Dubois. Yes, sir.
Dubois. I'm Cody. I'm French too. I don't know. Is that French?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Canadian French. But I had friends that were, you know, I grew up with a lot of Dubois, and I'm from the Northeast, so it's a very common name in Maine and Connecticut. But anyway, I could just put it on a piece of paper and just leave my email address and what records I need, and that's legally suffice, you know. And then that's considered a, you know, a submittal of record request.
Okay.
Like it doesn't have to be online.
Yeah. I'm just saying we prefer it online because those
Right.
record requests go directly to our records people and that sort of thing. So,
Right. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But my thing, a lot of it is, and it was the same thing when I came down here
Right.
before, is I won't ID because I don't have to. You know, like just like when she was asking me my name, she got upset I wouldn't give her my last name. Everyone in here knows my last name. They know exactly where I live. They know everything about me. Only reason why I don't do it is people watching my videos will say, hey, maybe I don't have to give my last name, you know? Like, I'm just teaching them their rights, you know? Like, it's the same thing. I can do it online, but legally, I can do it on a piece of paper. And a lot of places try to divert people to the internet to do public records when all I really have to do is verbalize it to you. And in a lot of states, that's good enough. But here,
It's not.
Yeah,
you have to
here-
submit it. You do have to submit a written request, and
right, and I do it verbally,
Yeah.
and sometimes I've gotten responses. Those are records I don't really care about, You know, like a lot of times I'll do record requests just to test the clerk on their knowledge and, you know, their transparency and what they'll do. And, you know, so I'll do a verbal request just to see if they'll respond to it or if they won't respond at all. No response shows me lack of transparency, lack of accountability, you know, like if I don't have to, I'm not going to. So I'm like, okay, now I got to keep an eye on that person, you know, like now that person's on my list of, you know, so.
Well, let me grab you a piece of paper.
Yeah, do that, and then I'll write it down. And what do you think? Was that 12:45 around? Like, so I could put the time down.
I can check the call log.
Yeah, I guess if I could just put the call. Yeah, if you give me the number, I guess the incident number, and then that would cover everything, right? As far as the body cam footage and the 911 calls.
okay.
All right, thank you. You guys catch all that? Gotta get him a gimbal. I don't do gimbals. I'm not used to. Hey, from Taos, third eye activate. Let me tell people, third eye activated. If you guys aren't aware of the video that was here in Taos of Taos sheriffs coming at a woman with a baton, and she was in her van and she was refusing. She was a veteran. That is third eye activated. You guys can go to her channel and say what's up. And one of the best videos I've seen of shutting down a tyrant cop. And that cop actually had charges pressed against him earlier, I think that year, for domestic violence. So, crazy. Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Is this
It's just a record request form.
Oh, so you guys have them still?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll fill it right out on that, and that'll be perfect.
Perfect.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. Have a good day.
Hey, yeah. So I guess we're good, and I'll just assume that
Trespass.
just from that one location. If I go to another one and they say something, then I'll just ask for clarification.
Yeah, because we didn't get any either, to be very honest
Right.
with you. So it's, as far as we're concerned, it's just from that particular location.
Okay.
Yeah, unless we get otherwise, and like I said, I'm sure we'll be in contact with you some way, shape or form.
Yeah, I mean, you
And
guys
we'll
will have my
notify you.
email address.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm not unknown here. I mean, I've been coming down since 2019, and I'm not hiding. You know, like as soon as I heard the police came looking for me, I was like, all right, I better go down. Hopefully, it's the Taos Police Department. Otherwise, I'd be chasing around town going to the sheriff. You know, so
Yeah,
I
no worries.
appreciate it. Thank
All right,
you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Here's my business card. Case number is written right there. There's not going to be a report generated, but that'll give you all the times and everything you need. Okay?
Okay, so no report, but just, I guess, you know, so body cams and then 911 calls will be linked to this number too?
That would
dispatch?
You'd have to go through dispatch, yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll put it on this one, but I guess,
So your dispatch is a separate entity from the Taos Police Department,
right.
so you probably have to go through them to get that.
Oh, no. I'll give you another lesson on the IPRA, is I could place a public record request at any public entity. I mean, I'm gonna do a public record request here for, records out of Cuesta. And yeah, I'm just letting you know, I mean,
Okay.
you can, yeah, I can go to the guy sitting at that desk right there. All of you actually should be educated on the New Mexico IPRA. Like, I think that I looked it up and there was, you guys went, everyone in the building is supposed to go through training.
We go through quite a bit of training.
Yeah, but
Anything
anyway,
else
yeah, I
you're
can.
with, or you good?
Yeah, I could submit any record here for anywhere. I could do it for, Rio Doso if I wanted to, but I appreciate it. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Wow, that's barely legible. Chicken scratch. Let's see. Case number 2512T. 6. All right. All right. Let's see if we can sign it. All right. Huh? There's like no bell out here or anything to ring for service. I don't think they want to serve me. Yeah, I would knock on the glass, but they're both on the phone. I mean, maybe. I think this one's maybe about to get up and help me. I'm not sure. But I'll wait until they're free. Yeah, I just need to submit this public record request. But I want to make sure you can read it because my handwriting is chicken scratch.
So the calls for service are gonna be through dispatch.
Okay.
Request those through the county.
Well, I'll just put it in here, and then I guess you could forward it to the county.
Okay,
I mean, that's usually how it's done.
okay.
But can you read my contact at the top?
Did you say this incident
Yeah, that's the case number right there. I mean, here's what he gave me. Maybe I didn't read it correctly.
That's not a case for today, though. Give me 1 second. Let me go see if he's in the back. Okay?
Maybe he miswrote it or
Yeah,
something.
let me just double check
Yeah.
with him.
Okay. Oh, try giving me a trick case number. No, they never walk away from tyranny. These guys are always on the verge of doing something crazy. Keep the camera rolling and stick around. That's all it takes. But apparently, this place is going to be needing some education on the records laws because I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to offer my services to the locals here, anyone actually in New Mexico, because I could give them the information that they need, or maybe I could do it online. But, you know, I noticed that public records is big business at these places, and they won't even let you look at the records unless you pay money or unless you're me with a camera. You know, like I haven't paid for any records. Was it a wrong number?
So he made a mistake on this right here.
Oh,
So I'll correct it.
okay. Could you correct it on the card too?
He gave
Oh.
you a corrected card.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
X. Okay. I don't even know what that says.
2601T0616.
Oh, it's a 6. Okay. Yeah, I need my glasses. All right. I appreciate it. And I guess I already have a copy that you're receiving it, and I'll just look forward to hearing from you guys next week.
Sounds good.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So here we are. They have this locked, I think. Yeah, see, they keep this locked. This is all like what you guys aren't privy to, I guess, is that I have a whole bunch of footage. I came down here last year throughout before Christmas and after Christmas. And before Christmas, this door was unlocked. And I filed a complaint on one of the employees who I ran into at a local grocery store, and she kind of threatened me and for filing a complaint on her. So I came down here, and when I did that, they locked the door, so I couldn't come in. I have to I have to call a number and wait for them. They make me do all my public record requests right here. But like I said, I'm about to basically set up a little transparency program here in Taos where I'm going to be getting public record. I'm going to see anyway if people want to use my services, but I'm going to make it so I get public records for everybody, and I'll get them for them for free. You know, I mean, that's the way it should be. Maybe I can get a scanner and a printer. That's all it would take. And I'll come down and scan the documents. And if they want body cam footage, they're going to need to set up a television, like a screen for me to view camera footage, because you're allowed to inspect public records. Like right here on site, you can inspect public records, you know. And I see a lot of that with the whatchamacallit. A lot of auditors, you know, like they buy their records for these absurd amounts of money, and then they say all the pages were redacted. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't you look at it first and then pay the money? You know, like you don't have to pay for all the pages. Like if you were to request a police officer's personnel file and you were just looking for certain things out of that file, you inspect the file first. Pick out the pages you want them to copy, and then you could pay them to make copies of it if you don't have a way to make your own copies. Now here also, they charge the maximum $1 per page, and that's also wrong, because over at the library, they charge 15 cents per page to have things printed from the computers, and they're all leased printers through the city. So I'm thinking there might be the same printer at the library as they have here, and either way, I gotta just do a request for their contract with the printer people, whoever leases their printers, get that lease contract, and it'll say how much you're charged per copy. I guess these printers have counters on them or something. They know how many copies were made, and they'll charge accordingly. And that fee that's charged through the lease company is all they can charge us. They can't charge more than what they're paying. Otherwise, then that means they're making money off public records. So here they're definitely doing that, and I'm going to shut that down too. And I'm going to make them set up a reasonable place to inspect public records. And I'll come and have that set up for me, basically, to come down and inspect public records on other people's behalf, maybe get their copies and such. So I think everything's locking down. I better get out of here. But man, all right. What do we got? Leslie Sylvan in here? I see Eric Johnson says, hey, Leslie, happy fuck the cops day. Ole, ole. And then we got the American flag. It looks like we might even have new cruisers. Oh yeah, look at. We got new police cruisers here in Taos. I mean, weed is legal now. So, we sell it here. We should probably do it. We should probably have some nicer things around town and less potholes. It was a pretty nice car though. So anyway, it's a beautiful day in Taos. We got snow on the way, I think tomorrow or the next day. So, it's been a pretty lackluster winter. We've had 50-degree days pretty much all January, which is very rare. We have a little bit of snow on the ground in the shady spots. But yeah, I think there's UNM Taos. I think I'm going to end the live stream, guys, and thanks for joining me. It's been years since I've gone live, and sorry I haven't been very active with reading the chat or anything. It's kind of a busy visit here today, but I do have stuff going on with the local speedway. I don't really come after private businesses or anything, but these guys stole money from me, and that's where I draw the line. I know if I stole from Speedway, they would be pressing charges against me for sure. But being that I'm bringing it to their attention, they decide they're going to trespass me. So you know how that goes. You expose somebody's corruption, that's their go-to. Trespass, I mean, that's pretty much a telltale right there. But as soon as I mentioned to the district manager here, who's in charge of all these locations in Taos, that I have an open investigation through corporate, she got really upset. So I think she was acting out of being upset, which is what normally happens when you call somebody out on their crap. And but whatever, it's all going to get investigated. I'm just going to have fun with it and see what happens. See if Speedway is going to join the ranks of the no accountability team, and which is everywhere in the country right now. But maybe they'll do the right thing and they'll make it right. But only time will tell. So anyway, it gave me a reason to come down to the police department today. So I decided to go live and maybe kick things back up. It's 2026, and there's obviously problems in the Taos Town Hall. So maybe I can be of assistance. Anyway, thanks guys for joining. I'll talk to you later. Adios.